Hello and welcome to another update video about IOTA. IOTA is also starting to move up, and this was absolutely necessary because we talked in the last few videos about IOTA and that it did here first of all reach in the corrective phase in which it is. And to be honest, this corrective phase has taken a long time now. In this corrective phase, it has really moved very slowly. We had a bit of a triangle here, came then down a little bit as we broke the triangle to the downside. Then we moved up into this area here. Yeah, this was indicated back then and the target area was reached once more. And then we came finally here into this yellow target area. Again, this target area is sitting between key Fibonacci retracement levels, and this target area was obviously mentioned already when we were somewhere in, I think in November. At the time, it seemed ridiculous to talk about this area down here between 75 and 90 cents. But, we did get perfectly into it, and you can see a fairly strong reaction now to this target area. I had a comment from someone earlier today who said I shouldn't really talk about ABC corrections and so on because the waves are most often wrong. Now, I don't think so. I think most cryptos that I've talked about on this channel have reached their major target area from within this wave C correction. The target areas were highlighted already in November, towards the end of November. And if you tell me any other method would have been able to really that accurately forecast a price move, I don't know any. I don't know any other method. And it's just a method. It's the Elliott wave method. And in November we talked about the price reaching this area. It's here now. We've seen a reaction to it, which means the price has reacted to this area. It's not just something that hovers anywhere and you don't see a reaction. No, we found support in this area, and that's fantastic. And that's important for IOTA because we talked about the wave count here for IOTA, and the blue area here is the alternative, should we lose key support levels. So what we've had here on the chart was, first of all, let me just find that area here. I need to just readjust here. Yeah, so this is currently where we are in this wave count, where we started here with that wave to the upside and came then down and would here in the yellow area complete the correction. Now that is one scenario. Based on this scenario, we would actually have an ABC like that, A, B, wave B here, and then you come down in your wave C here into the area, and then you complete with your correction. To do that, which means that we might have already seen the low, we talked about that. To do that, we need IOTA really to finish the correction now, or at a maximum come down to around 57 cents. Because this was the beginning of this wave down here in July, coming all the way up, coming all the way down again, making this typical altcoin 80 to 90% sell-off. Okay, so however, IOTA very strong, very low, very low, very weak. The chart is very weak. Hasn't made a new all-time high in 2021. Like XRP Ripple, moves very similar to Ripple, and the problem is, if it doesn't really get out of this yellow target area now quickly, it probably will not, well, it will survive, but it will drop much more, in case there is another Bitcoin sell-off, which I do expect. So that is why it's so important that IOTA finally starts to move out of here and hopefully will push above $1. The dollar is obviously the key psychological level. Now, the problem is if IOTA loses that and also could then in another sell-off get down to 55 cents or 57 cents as it is on the chart here, if it puts a buffer in place, it might stay above 57 cents. But similar situation to Cardano, even the chart looks weaker than Cardano's chart, by the way, because it didn't make a new all-time high in 2021. If it loses that 57 cent level, then we're talking about this other pattern that we looked at here. There are always, by the way, at least two scenarios anyway. So need to be aware of that. If it loses 57 cents, then we're talking about a completely different wave count, or we have to go to the higher level wave count. And this would then indicate that we can come much lower with the price. And that would be here somewhere in this area, yeah, between then 57 cents and 37 cents. Yeah, that would then be the level that I would expect. But then again, had IOTA now stayed in the yellow area and, you know, had not come out of it, I think I would have really been concerned that we really lose that this wave A, that we lose the 50 cent level, that we maybe even lose, if we lose 37 cents, I mean, then we're talking about levels below 10 cents, okay, potentially. So I don't hope that is going to happen. It's good sign that it has reacted here to this yellow target area. A price level, by the way, that back in November when it was highlighted here first, nobody thought would be possible. And we highlighted these areas here, not only for IOTA, we did highlight them for various other cryptos, including, for example, just VeChain. VeChain has reached it, Ethereum has reached it, Bitcoin not yet. But a lot of altcoins have reached their target areas, including Sandbox, Gala, you know. So a lot of them. And again, these are not here for fun. They are actually to expect a turnaround with a very high probability. Now, is this already the turnaround or not? Personally, I don't think so. And that is all based on my analysis for Bitcoin, that I would expect Bitcoin to do another sell-off. Generally, the chart is very weak. IOTA, yeah, I'm a bit concerned about it generally still, but at some point here we should see a turnaround, but need to expect another move down, possibly in the first instance here to the 57 cent level. And if it loses that, yeah, then we can talk about a 37 cent IOTA. We need to expect that. Yeah, that's the message here. So it broke this very short-term strong downtrending line, which is a good sign. So I can take that off the chart. It is still way below the 50-day moving average, which is sitting here at $1.10, way below the 200-day moving average at 120. It has moved above the 20-day moving average though. Yeah, that was at 90 cents, so that's good. But it's got a lot of resistances along the way now. It's got the the $1 mark. Yeah, it tried to already get closer to it. Really found a bit of a rejection there at 98 cents. Then we've got the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, and then you've got here this descending trend line, this longer term descending trend line, you know, that has really pushed the price down from September, November, December. So even if we move up there, we would still be in a downtrend unless we really break above that level. And just let's say if we moved, we probably won't, but if we moved all the way up there today, that level would be at around $1.40. Okay, so there's a lot of resistances along the way. And looking at the high level indicators as well, there is further room for falling further here on the weekly RSI. We could come all the way down to the 30 level in another sell-off, which I primarily still expect for IOTA and other cryptocurrencies. And also on the weekly RSI here, we don't really see a turnaround yet. It's looking a bit like it might try a bit of a turnaround here, so we'll see. And that wouldn't be a problem. That would actually be great because, to be fair, it has seen the yellow target area as we talked about it. Yeah, so this yellow one is actually the primary forecast, yeah, and then the blue one here is the alternative. Yeah, if we really lose that, if we primarily lose here the 74 cent level, which is the lower support level of that yellow target area, then we can head all the way down to 57. So it just needs to be, everybody needs to be aware of that IOTA, the chart generally looks quite weak here. And by the way, as I can see that, you can even extend that trend line here. Probably if you just use the closing candles on the weekly, you can actually extend it a little bit longer. And then we've got quite a significant descending trend line that the price needs to push above. Otherwise, you have a massive descending triangle here on the chart, or you could even call it a, well, symmetrical triangle really, like that. And based on that, there you go. Based on that, we're moving here into the apex, yeah. So could have a bit of a consolidation, yeah. So that's an important one to keep on the chart. Actually, might need to do that a bit more accurately. But then, if we have it like that, the next move, yeah, the next move will be significant, because if you have a breakout out of this triangle, then and looking at just using a technical target, yeah, for a triangle, and we just take basically the height of the triangle here, yeah, from where it really started, just roughly. And if we had a breakout today, I mean, that could push it up to 337 to the upside. To the downside, we don't really want to talk about that, right? But to the upside, and that would be very well in line with one of the key Fibonacci extension levels based on this wave count, and that would be at 340. So you get the same target here for the breakout of the pattern and the Fibonacci level, the 1.272 extension at 340. And usually, you know, in technical analysis, you look at this confluence of factors when you have basically a breakout of a pattern target and a Fibonacci level that aligns, or some sort of additional technical target, then yeah, it can actually be quite likely reached. So if we really get that breakout here, and at some point we will, you know, we should just make sure that we're not falling below 74 cents, because if we do that, then you're going to break here, you break that triangle to the downside, and you really risk to move into the area between 57 and 37 cents, which would then massively extend the recovery, I think. But overall, typically, I still assume this was here wave 1. We're currently in a wave 2. The next wave up will be the wave 3. And in the wave 3, you should at least actually expect the 1.618 extension, which will be at 431. There's a lot that is happening in the IOTA space. You know, staking now enabled, a lot of new partnership with the European Union. There is so much that is happening. I really think it's a very, very interesting cryptocurrency, but the chart has just some sort of a weakness, and we just need to, there is a risk that basically we are still in a correction of this major pump in 2017, and that this has still not really fully been corrected. And you know, if we just look at the monthly chart, we haven't even had a bearish crossover on the MACD yet. So if you're gonna see that, and I think we are, as it looks like down here, then you can that scares me a little bit, you know, if we get a bearish crossover on the MACD. So the message here is, you know, we've got a massive opportunity here. We've got a massive triangle pattern out of which the price could break out. We have reached the yellow target area that we talked about in November. The chart still looks weak. Yeah, it has started to move out of that yellow target area, which is good. We're still in a downtrend though, or caught in this triangle basically. And there is a significant risk, if IOTA doesn't really push a little bit higher, that in another Bitcoin sell-off, we could reach that lower area here, that blue area, and would then also break out of the triangle to the downside. So it's risky, you know, because the chart is looking still fairly weak. I still think, you know, it's a good project. So I have actually started to accumulate IOTA here, looking more in a long-term perspective, especially as it's related to the Web 3.0, Internet of Things, which could really be the next hype in the crypto market. All right, hopefully you liked the update about IOTA. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, maybe you want to consider to join as a channel member, Telegram, Discord access, and a weekly live stream. And you can find a link for that in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.